Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me have a 1 in the chat box. Let me have a 1. Let me be sure we're on the same page. Let me have a 1 if you can hear me. I'm speaking from Ibadan, and the network at times behaves well. So please, if it goes off, I have another device here. I might have to switch my audio to that one as we go off, as it goes off. Thank you so much, Bolanle. I can see you. I can see everybody. I can see Duncan. Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here. I don't know about you, but please, if you are not yet excited, catch my excitement right now, because we're going to have a transformational session. Now, what I want you to do is look at this training differently. As you take in whatever we'll be sharing, let's put ourselves on the pedestal. Like, okay, what am I doing right now that this is touching on? What can I do differently? And be determined to begin to effect those changes immediately after this training. So I'm going to start up with a very important quote. Moving on, I want to see, I want to talk about what John C. Maxwell said. And that is going to be more or less the source of most of the things I'll be sharing today. John C. Maxwell is a renowned coach and behavioral trainer expert. So he says nothing of significance can was ever achieved by an individual acting alone. Look beyond the surface and you will find that all seemingly solo acts are really team efforts. In other words, you can't achieve anything alone. You must work with people. So that brings us to the question, what does it mean to win with people? It's simple. Winning with people simply means that you redefine your own values, redefine your purpose, redefine your activities such that your purpose for winning is centered around helping other people win, caring about other people winning. Now, the big question is, are you at this point working to win with people in your team? Are you working to win with people, or you're just focused on yourself? It's a big question, and we're going to be answering that question individually. And wherever we're faulted, please, let's be determined to make a change. Now, to win, you must be a leader. Now, who is a leader? Who is a leader? A leader is somebody who knows the way, shows the way, walks the way. That's the general definition. But let me make it a bit more formal. A leader is someone who influences people towards the achievement of a goal and also works at achieving the goals himself. So you're not just saying, do this. A leader is saying and is doing and is showing people how to do it. The truth is that we're all leaders in any capacity, in various capacities. If you're a parent, you're a leader. If you are the head of a community group in your neighborhood, you're a leader. If you're a business leader, you are a leader, and so many other circles like that. Now, let us start by identifying the 5 levels of leadership so that I'll be able to know what exactly to look forward to. Now, leadership itself is a journey. So we get better and move from one level to the other from time to time. And the first place we start from is level number 1. And we are heading towards level 5. Now, level 1 is what you call the position leadership level. Now, this is the first level. This is the leadership you inherit as a function of your position. Somebody who has been employed to be a laborer, a salesman, an accountant, becomes a leader automatically because he has a set deliverables. So someone who is new to network marketing, for example, and did 1 or 2 things to bring on people into the business will be in this position because he doesn't have any skills, he doesn't know how to lead people and all of that. And the good thing is that at this point, you can lay the foundation to become a level 5 leader or a pinnacle leader. So it all depends on your mindset. Now, to survive at this level, most people begin to play some dirty politics. Instead of doing that, you need to begin to learn to move yourself from that position by acquiring skills so that you get to level 2. Now, let's look at level 2. We call level 2 leaders permission leaders. These are leaders who lead and influence people based on relationship. They understand people. They lead by permission. People on their own permit them to lead them because they have good relationships with them. See, people want to be with people who they are comfortable with. So if you know how to handle people, if you know how to manage relationships well, you are going to be at this level. And that is, of course, the next level to the position leader. Now let's go to the third level, production leader. Who is a production leader? A production leader is a leader that helps people to produce results. He knows how to do it. He knows how to get people to work, and he gets to work with them, and results are produced. But the problem with this level is that if the leader is not there, nothing happens. So at this level, people are dependent on the leader. Remember, I said leadership is a journey. So now you have moved from not having any skills to relationship skills, soft skills that are great. Because without soft skills, every other thing will be useless. And then you come to production leadership, where you actually work with people to produce results. But the downside is you can't achieve results all alone. You can't always be there. So that moves us to the next level of leadership, which is the people development leadership. Now, this is where we want to be, first of all. And when you are here, you are combining the attributes, qualities of level 1 to 3. And at this space, you are also developing or duplicating yourself. Now, for you to succeed in network marketing, you must embrace development of people. You must spend 80% of your time developing people, because that would ensure that you have the duplication that you want. And you can't just develop everybody. Just 20% of the population of those who are willing, who are coachable, and who are hungry will give you the 10x of your results that you're looking for. So in your team, look at it, do an 80-20 thing. That's 80% of the activities that you are putting in should be in developing leaders, so that even when you're not there, they are there. Okay? And then look out for that 20% of your people who are willing. It's not everybody that will run with you. Don't be worried. Everybody is at different levels at every time. And nobody is a lost cause. No. It's a journey, like I said. Now, the point we want to be is level 5. Level 5. This is the pinnacle leadership points, where you are now on top of your game, such that you are developing leaders, and your leaders are developing leaders, and a legacy is being created. That's where great leaders are. And one is a rare place to be. It's only a few people that eventually get here. But like I said, this is a journey. We should look forward to getting there. One of the people that readily comes to mind at this level is Jesus Christ. He was a great leader. He replicated himself in people, and up till date, people are still modeling the blueprints that he has laid down. So we want to be a pinnacle leader eventually. We want to look at building something bigger than ourselves. And that is what we call significance. So it's not just about your position right now. It's not just about your own objectives, but about people, making people win. And once you are able to achieve that, the sky is just the starting point. Now let's look at some principles that can help us to win with people as leaders, especially in network marketing. Quickly, we're going to run through 10 I hope time will allow us to do justice to all of them. The first one is you have to lead yourself first. You can't give what you don't have. You can't pour from an empty cup. So as a leader, lead yourself first. Secondly, be deliberate, commit to become a level 5 leader. It's a journey. Dedicate yourself to that journey and begin to run. Now, as a leader, you need to be self-conscious or self-aware or have a high level of consciousness. Now, what does consciousness mean? That's the way you see yourself, the way you see people, the way you see things around you, and the way you interpret them. And the higher your level of confidence, the higher your energy. And once you are very, very conscious, you begin to produce powerful results. You are healthier, you are more peaceful, you are able to manage relationships in your life. And this is where every single leader wants to be. Remember, we are on a journey. Secondly, we want to be deliberate and commit to becoming a level 5 leader. If you want to win with people, you must be ready for the challenges. You must be ready for what it takes. So you must commit. You must be willing to put the interests of people ahead of yours. You must be a self-sacrificing person. It is only when you are that you can win with people. When people see that you are putting their interest ahead of yours, they will key in and begin to work with you. Let's move to the third point now. You must be a great team player. Yes, you are the leader, but the truth is you are also part of the team. You are also part of the team. Don't exclude yourself. Don't be elitist and be looking at people from your high horse. No, you calm down and get dirty and rough with people on the job. Make sure that you work with your team. And it is important for you to effectively communicate so that at the end of the day, you are able to create significance. You are able to create legacies. One thing that I always say, which is also a common saying, is that individuals play the game. Let's say the game of football, for example, but teams win championships. When they want to give the cup to the winner of a tournament, they don't give it to one person and say, okay, Mr. So-so. They give it to a particular team. So working together, being a great team player is an important ingredient for you to win with people. Now, let's focus on another thing. Focus on becoming significant, creating impact. Whatever you are doing must be bigger than yourself, like I said. Now, what are the questions you are going to be asking yourself? What course is it following? This my course. Is it bigger than me? Does it benefit other people as well as myself? Is it worth dedicating my time to or my life to? Now, as you begin to think about this, you begin to think about the kinds of people who will join you in achieving this bigger goal that you have set for yourself. And then you begin to list them, okay? And then you also begin to list those people that can benefit from the cause. When you wanted to join a Mary, you were thinking of yourself, but you were also thinking about the greater good. Who are the people that can benefit from this? Who are the people that can work with me to be able to achieve my goals in this business? So those are some of the things that we need to focus on to succeed. Next, we want to know our team members and use that knowledge effectively. That's number 5. Herb Keller said something. Leading an organization is as much about soul as it is about systems. Effective leadership finds its source in understanding. You know, we are in a people business. So as much as possible, you need to connect with people. And once you are connecting with them, you begin to understand them better and deal with them based on that understanding. Now, we're going to look at some of the key things we can do with the information we have about people so that we can manage relationships very well. So let's run to the first one. We want to sincerely love and care about people. Want to sincerely love and care about people. Don't make your business just about Imeri, just about the business. No. Find out how people are doing. Find out what their family situation is. Find out what their relationships is going through. And sometimes you might not have the solution, but just being a good listener will change the game. Just listen. And that's all some people want. They are going through so much, they just need someone to pour their hearts to. Be there for them. And I tell you, are going to enjoy the KLT factor. The know, like, and trust. And once you get to that level with somebody, you begin to influence that person. The person begins to like you, listens to your advice and all, because he's seeing you as somebody who looks beyond the boards, who looks beyond the business in his relationship with you. Then want to see everyone as a potential leader. I love to apply this rule. We call it the number 10 rule. It's the same John C. Maxwell that postulated that rule. And he says that when you see somebody, mark him 10 over 10, 10 over 10. No matter how the person is looking, mark him 10 over 10 and be determined to work with that person to greatness. We have seen from experience, value springing from strange places. That's why you can describe some people as outstanding. And when that happens, the person begins to feel more confident. Remember, at every point in time, everyone is valuable. So we shouldn't look down on anybody if you want to really win with people. Next, want to have a great charisma. Now, charisma has been defined as a compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. What it means is that you are somebody that is good to be around. You light up the room. You leave people better than you found them. And that is something you can do to win with people. Manage conflicts effectively. We are humans, we always step on one another's toes. As a leader, as a pinnacle leader who wants to win with people, it is your responsibility to manage crises, conflicts effectively. And remember to always evaluate your arguments. Now, when you are in a conflict situation, be careful what you do, be careful what you say. Don't be confrontational. Ensure that whatever happens, your relationship is not hot. Because for every hot relationship, that is one person down, not that you are not winning with. So if you want to really win with people, be careful what you do or say. What I tell people is, when you're upset like that, calm down. Think about the situation before you react. Most people react almost immediately. Now, when you stop to think, you are not reacting to the situation anymore. You are now responding, because you are now coming from a point of strength, a point of power, because you have pondered everything carefully. So even your presentation will be calm, and the objective will be to resolve issues and not just to go prove a point. Okay? So we'll move on to the next point that can help us with the understanding of people. Something that can help us to better deal with people is to be down to earth. I said it earlier, we should not elevate ourselves. Next slide, please. We should be down to earth, work with our people, be approachable, so that someone can walk to you and say, these are the challenges I'm having. And that will enable a better relationship and better performance. If we do not resolve people's immediate issues, they can't do anything. Somebody that has a sick child, you are telling the person about the board. The person will not mind you, because the immediate problem the person has is weighing the person down. So find out what the pains of people are, find out what their frustrations are, find out what you can do to help them, and actually help them if you can. If you cannot, recommend sources of help for them. Okay? Hello, are we still together? Please let me see a one if you can still hear me. Remember I told you Ibadan network. All right, thank you so much. Then don't be too critical or quick to judge people. We are together. Awesome. Pastor Solomon, thank you very much for that feedback. MC Bobby, I see you. Thank you very much. So don't be too critical or quick to judge people. We are all imperfect, and people would always do things based on their own understanding. In the NLP world, there's a presupposition that says that everyone has his own map of the world, and yet that map is not the territory. So everyone has a view of the world. This is the way things are based on their filters, beliefs, memories, values, meta programs, and all of that. They see things that way. Now, what you need to do is understand them. That is the way they are. And leave them to be that way. Don't try to force them to adopt your own ways of looking at things. Remember, this person, let's say he's 40 years old. I've had all these beliefs and values and meta programs all these 40 years. Now you are coming into the person's life and you're saying, okay, this year you must change. It doesn't work that way. That's why we call life a journey. So we are on a journey of improvement. And that was why I said earlier, whatever we're sharing today, it should be something that we should take back home, go and think over them and begin to act over them. Look at a situation where you write the number 6 on the floor. Somebody's on the right is saying 6. Another person is on the right saying 9. So what number is it? It's just about perception. And if we understand this in dealing with people, it's going to make us win with people. Now we'll move to the next point that can help us in dealing with people better as we understand them. And that is, be ready to treat people, be ready to admit your own mistakes and make necessary corrections. It is important to know that we are all fallible. Everybody makes mistakes. And I call these 3 magical words, I am sorry, a lifesavers. Some of the world wars that happened probably wouldn't have happened if somebody somewhere had said, I am sorry. And when you say you are sorry, genuinely mean it and begin to make amends. Don't say you are sorry and go back doing the same thing. It won't work. It won't work. It will continue to bring frictions. And then look at that picture. That's the Bob principle. The Bob principle says when Bob has a problem with everyone, then Bob himself is usually the problem. So if you have a Bob in your team, for example, having issues with this one, that one, you need to begin to help Bob to think before he acts, think before he speaks. But remember that I said earlier, everybody is an adult. So you will not want to force yourself on anyone. More so, no matter how hard you do work or try, some people will be who they are. Don't blame them. They are on the journey. Their level of consciousness is not at that point where they can assimilate whatever you are saying. So leave them. They will get to that point. They will get to that point. Now, in order to protect your team, in order to protect yourself, it is important to know when to isolate these people from your team, from yourself, so that negativity does not spread in your team or you don't absorb negativity. Everything that we do is about energy. I'm going to be talking about energy leadership later. Everything is about energy. So if you don't control the energy around you, when they begin to resonate all these negative, resonate at all these negative frequencies, they would affect you and affect your team. So you need to be very careful to make sure that you manage your Bobs very, very well. There will always be Bobs everywhere. There was a Bob in Jesus Christ's life. That was Judas Iscariot. Imagine somebody with 12 apostles, one person sticking out as Judas. Now, how many people do you have in your team? Break them into groups of 12. Then begin to imagine the number of Bobs that you're supposed to have. But God help you, you won't have that kind of situation. Okay, so we'll move on to the next point now. We want to treat people with respect and even better than they treat us. This is what we call the high road. A high roader is somebody who looks, beyond himself. He doesn't take himself too seriously because he's at a level of consciousness that is way, way higher than those he's dealing with. And he consciously ensures that as a service to others, he treats them well, no matter how the people treat him, no matter how. And you know what? While you are trying to treat people well, you are doing yourself also a favor, because you are going to be free from all the bitterness, animosity, and everything, and you'll be having better, more productive relationships. Instead of picking on everything and fighting people on everything, you decide consciously to let go of everything. My own suggestion to people, my own recommendation, and the way I live my life is that most things should be overlooked. And when you eventually want to address anything, don't take it too seriously, because I'm going to get to a point where those things will not really matter anymore. So we want to be very careful. Next, we want to look at another important point. Never fuel disunity or animosity in your team. If you want to win with people, please, please, and please. I remember there was a time there was something that was going on in my team, and I got a call from Reverend Dan in Ghana, and he just told me, J Mama, whatever it is that is going on, kill it. And that was where my focus on your focus came. I just took that and began to expand on it based on my level of consciousness. I told myself, going forward, I was not going to entertain any negativity. I was not going to pay attention to anything that would distract. And whatever it is I can handle, I will handle as quickly and as perfectly as possible. Because if you don't do that, you are going to, your team is going to implode. And the team is going to self-destruct at the end of the day. And we need to begin to teach partners to look at things better. Train them to overlook things. Train them to focus on the reason why they are here. Because if they do that, if everybody, takes things lightly and doesn't take himself too seriously, you find that there'll be a lot of progress. And people can work together more instead of working against one another, which is what we want to avoid when we want to win with people. Next slide, please. Apply the law of the niche all the time. The law of the niche says that you should put the right people based on their abilities and their personalities in the right places so that they can perform the best. If you don't do that, you are going to create frustrated people. You are going to create confused people. So having the right people in the right place is important for you to build a team that will be sustained, and you'll be able to win with people. So we want to begin to look in our organization right now. Who is in a wrong place? If you understand people, you know exactly what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. You do an analysis, a SWOT analysis of the people you are dealing with, and know exactly what to give them as roles. Now, if you have the right people in the right places, there will be multiplication, there will be duplication in your team. So this is a very important point to note. Then we want to celebrate people. Celebrate people. Anybody that you celebrate will want to do more. That's the next slide. I love this picture. This was during my one-star directorship celebration. We chose to do it as a recognition event for everybody here in Ibadan and some other partners that came from around the world. Everybody in the team, got recognized somehow. And this woman, although she is on the pre-associate board, was recognized for her consistency. Now, take a look at that picture. She was moved to tears. She was moved to tears. And when you do this to somebody, the person is committed to doing something more. Now, let's look at what Maya Angelou said. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Leave people feeling great all the time. Leave people feeling good. Celebrate them. Whatever the contribution, whether small or great, celebrate them. Whatever they win, celebrate them. If you are big on celebrations, you're going to have a huge, huge influence on people. You're going to touch lives and you're going to be able to move them to greatness more and faster. Now we have finished the 5th point relating to relationships and all. Let's go to the 6th point. Now I want to talk about to win with people. Create an unfair advantage or edge for your team so that they grow faster. Yes, this is coming more practical now. Train and groom leaders in your team. Show them what to do. Show them how to do it. We know there are scripts here and there. Don't tell them go and look for scripts. Go and do. Show them what scripts are working. What did somebody post that worked? Send them those scripts and let them post. Show them how to build. Show them how to duplicate. Teach them strategies. Like the 3-2-1 strategy we teach in our team, and what I've always shared with people. Every day, people should talk to 3 people, follow up on 2 people, follow up on 1 partner. Believe you me, if everybody in the team does that in a space of 30 days, consensuously, there is no way but to be stagnant. There's no way. Things will begin to happen. Then support your team, support your members in your team. Organize business meetings for them. Share business meetings for that they can attend. Handle 3-way calls for them. Be interested in what is going on in your board. Now, some people might have their own objections to giving sign-ups out to people. I do it. I feel that there are times when you need to do it to help somebody move from point A to point B. But be careful when you do that, because sometimes it makes the people lazy. There are some people you keep giving and giving, and they don't ever do anything much in the business, and they will not even appreciate. They might get to the point and say, hey, it's not only 1 agency you gave me, what's the big deal? But believe you me, they might not be able to bring in 1 agency into the business. So be careful when you do it so that it doesn't backfire and give you laggards in your business. Placements are a good way to support people. Then create events for your team. Link them to events. If I'm so happy that in Anyimah we have back-to-back events from Mondays to Sundays, and I'm always sharing. Let people have multiple opportunities to see the event, to share these events with people. Share your mentors with them. Let people know what you know. What I've come to discover is that as I share personal growth and development resources with people, share mentorship resources with people, some take the information and do better than I can do, because each person has his own qualities, his own talents. So they multiply. So if you don't share, then you won't grow. You won't grow with people. People will not win. You won't win with people, and people will not be willing to always work with you. Okay, are we still together? Another point is we want to empower people through delegation. We want to identify the strengths of people, like I've said, and there are some people in your team that are catalysts because of certain things they carry. Their charisma, their intelligence, their qualities. There are some people when they present like this, even somebody who didn't want to do the business will want to do it. So where are you putting such people? Put them in a position where they can perform the best. I tell people, always put your best foot forward if you want to win with people, if you want maximum results. Now, when you delegate like that also, you prevent yourself from burning out. You are the only one doing this, you are the only one doing that, at the end of the day, the results will not be so much. You will get some results anyway. But when you ensure duplication and leverage, you are going to 10x your result. Remember, the difference between two equally qualified and talented teams is leadership. If you do it right, you continue to get massive, massive results. We move on to the 7th point right now. Gina, are we still together? Awesome. Thank you so much. Help people create big visions and work with them to achieve their goals. You know, the why, we're talking about why just yesterday on the group. When your why is so big, when your goal is so big, you are focused and you know exactly what to do. You begin to create smart goals. Now, before now, we are used to creating smart goals. Your goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. But there's a paradigm shift in goal setting now. I will call it create, and I love to create goals. Please, let's move on to the next slide. Let me share the create concept. Create is from that word create, and each word is an acronym. C stands for concise. Make your goal short, brief, and as detailed as possible. R, make it realistic and achievable. Ecological. Ensure that in the process of achieving your dreams, you don't hurt other people. For a thief, for example, has his own goals to acquire, amass wealth, to take this. But is it ecological? Is depriving people, is killing people to achieve that? Now, we want to avoid such. Then when you're writing your goals, you must write them as if now. Let them be in the present. Not that I will want to be. Today is so day. I am a 3-star director. I am a diamond ambassador. That's the way you want to put it. Let it also be timed. Anything that does not have a deadline is just a wish. If you have a goal and there's no deadline, there's no date, there's no timing to it, you must ensure that they are timed and they are towards the positive. Then there must be evidence procedure and positive emotions attached to it. How do I know that I've achieved my dreams? For example, if I set the goal of achieving 3-star director right now, how do I know? It's when I hit that goal. And then what emotions do I want to feel? Then you begin to imagine and document. Not just imagining, you document. When you are creating, you document. I was sharing my goals with some of my mastermind group members a few weeks ago, and they were reading it. You document like, okay, this 3-star director car, imagine yourself in it. Okay, I'm in the car, the AC is blowing. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? Are you seeing all those congratulatory messages on the WhatsApp group? Are you seeing people hailing you? Oh, J Mama, you tried. Like we're doing for Princess Daisy a few days ago. Now, Princess Daisy and I are supposed to be neighbors in Malaysia. That alone has, put us on high jump. Because now we're looking at being in the same neighborhood, waking up to jog together, children going to school together, and so many other things. So feel the emotion, and those are the things that will drive you to achieve your goal. If you are in debt, for example, and people are calling you and saying all sorts of negative things to you, begin to look at that time when you can be free from that, when you can always be happy no matter what is happening around you. Okay, so we want to create our goals. It's a step above setting smart goals. Now let's move on to something important. I love this 8th point in winning with people. As a leader, you must embrace energy leadership. Now, energy leadership is a shift in leadership. is a paradigm in leadership, and it is deliberately leading yourself, leading others with positive energy. Now, what's energy? That's our potential to produce results. And this is limitless. Just that sometimes we don't tap into all our potential. Sometimes we don't live the full potential because of some of the things we have been told. This is not possible, that is not possible, and the subconscious does not filter out those. It just keeps assuming and absorbing everything. Now we want to change that with energy leadership. Now there are two types of energy that we can have. Let's go to the next slide so we'll talk about that quickly. We have anabolic or positive energy, which is constructive, and it fuels our creativity. It can inspire us to continue to produce results. It can inspire us to greatness. It can inspire us to change in all areas of our life. So it's not just one area. We have, by the way, we have 8 areas of our lives. Please go and find out. If you want to see yourself as a success, you must be succeeding in those 8 areas of life. Please find out about them. Then we have catabolic or negative energy, which is destructive, and it results in so many negative things like worry, anger, frustration, blame, and other negativity. And if you don't check negative energy, it's going to create a toxic environment. Now, there was something I found out, that our brain, a part of it, I think in the center, is always scanning for trouble and interpreting everything it sees negatively based on some patterns. And this is always happening. It keeps pointing us to negative things around us, causing frustration, worry, anger, and other things. But what energy leadership will do for you, next slide, is that you will intentionally or deliberately interrupt that process of the brain, that natural process of the brain, and you will consciously refocus yourself. You consciously see yourself differently, see people differently, see the situation differently. We say that no event has any meaning except the meaning you give to it. Now, let's give an example now. Somebody has had an accident. Some people can interpret it to say, okay, village people made him have the accident. Another person will say, oh, this person has been working for so many hours. He was lethargic, he was tired, and that was why the accident happened. Two different perspectives, because some people have decided to flow with the brain, the part of the brain that is always focusing on negativity, while others have decided to focus on what matters. So as a leader, you need to deliberately break that chain of thinking negatively. And if you are an anabolic leader, you are able to help others do the same. Instead of focusing on negative things, you focus people on the right things. And one of the things you can do is to employ what we call the attention bias. Continue to say something repeatedly. That's why I use that my phrase, focus on your focus. Things are happening right, left, center, focus on your focus. If that is repeated over time, people begin to absorb it and they just begin to act it. Okay, so moving on, we see that as humans, we resonate energy. We resonate at various frequencies, and this is natural. Now, if your rate, next slide, please. Let me not lose people. Okay. So if the rate at which you are resonating does not align, then there will be a mismatch, and then you begin to have issues in your life. What we call the average resonating level is the average of all our day-to-day thoughts, our day-to-day emotions. Now, the emotions you have felt, the thoughts you have had before now, and the ones you are having presently will affect how you resonate. And when you begin to resonate, it is as a function of, your thoughts. And those thoughts will come and affect your feelings. And when your feelings are affected, it will propagate into your actions. So what you think about yourself, think about the people around you are very important because they create the world that you see. They create your reality. I said it earlier that the level of consciousness as well as your level of energy will determine your success. So as an energy leader, you want to run your team and yourself on positive energy and maintain it. The truth is that the energy of the leader is the energy of the team. There are sometimes I'm in Mad Lions group. There are sometimes even me on a day I might just be, a bit down about posting things, and I will just see one powerful message, one powerful post from Mad Lion and say, "Wow!" And it will just lift me up from whatever position I'm in. And that is what having positive energy around you does for you. Remember, anybody resonating negatively, please isolate them. It's not because you don't like them, but for that moment, they are not at the point that they will serve you. They are on a journey just like every other person. But be careful you don't allow negativity to dampen your strength, your spirits. Because when negativity comes in, there is gloom. And because it is resonating, you begin to absorb it. People around you begin to absorb it. That's when your body will not move. If you are surrounded with negative people who are resonating negative energy and everywhere is negative, negative things will be happening. And negativity, like I said, starts with the thoughts. Now I'm going to share something profound this afternoon. I spent 8 months on my manager board. Do you know why? Because I allowed negative energy. It was subconscious. When the board split and Mad Lion went to a board, I looked at people on the board and I said, wow, she got all the good people. This my board is going to stay long. And I spoke that negative word into the board. And it happened. 8 good months. But you know what happened? At a point with negative and with positive energy, I began to recover. And I'm going to share some things you can do to help you recover. Because when negative energy steps in, your level of testosterone, which is the hormone that helps us to be in high spirit and all of that, that level drops. And then what you call cortisol and adrenaline comes in. Because they want to fight that situation to make sure that, okay, you are balanced and all of that. But you need to put yourself in the positive states. You can go out to exercise. You can expose yourself to the sun. You can listen to good music. And then prayers. Prayers will help. Prayers like unburdening yourself to God. Putting everything in the hands of God. And then affirmations. Focusing only on positive things. And there are some things that you can also take as a part of your food and fruits. Ginger, onions, green vegetables, fish, and some natural supplements. We are very blessed to have Aliat and Femtima. Now the question is, have you got yours? So when that thing was happening to me, when my body was more like stuck, nothing was happening, I began to do this. I went on a 30 days affirmation exercise. Every day I was posting affirmations into the group. I would say it 10 times to myself. And that literally changed everything for me. The 3 people that came to close my board were not Nigerians. We were planning everything in Nigeria. Nothing was working. We were working. We were trying to say this is it. We had our own projections. Okay, this will happen maybe in a month, in 2 months' time. But in a couple of days, 3 people dropped from Egypt. That is energy. That is positive energy. That is prayer at work. That is affirmation at work. That is positivity at work. There is no condition, there is no situation that positive energy cannot change. See what you want to see. Don't see what is the reality. And that is where we say you are at a high level of consciousness. Something is bad, you are seeing something bad right now, but to you, this is changed already. This is good already. Okay? So let us take advantage of our Aliyat and Femtima that puts us in good moods. Testosterone is very, very good to, boost our feelings, raise our energy, and all of that. Now let's move to the ninth point. Ninth point, next slide, please. Remain consistent and never grow weary. Are we still together? Wow, I can't get any. Hello, Gina.
Yes, dear Mama, we are with you.
Awesome. Please, next slide. Okay, thank you. 9, remain consistent and never grow weary. Go back, please. 9. Now, we said you have to be committed to the leadership journey. It is a journey full of challenges. But I tell you, if you do it right, you are going to have great results. Remember, your focus is to create significance. It's not just about you achieving anything. Excuse me, please.
Okay. All right, while we are waiting for her, kindly drop your questions. I hope we are all on fire. I hope we are getting value for this training. I hope we are all getting value. If you are, please, I want reaction. I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it. Are you getting value for this training?
All right, sorry, I'm back. I didn't want to start coughing on the mic. Okay, so remember, thank you. Remember that you are dealing with people at different levels. Remember that some people will tire you out on this journey of leadership. But one thing you must know is that everybody is on a journey. Your 1 year, your 2 years ago is where somebody else is right now. So just like you two had your time to grow, allow people to grow. Isolate them for a while if you have to. But remember, nobody is a lost cause. Nobody. So when you are dealing with people, when you are dealing with your team members, when you are trying to, take them to greatness with you, manage your expectations so that you don't become weary, because people will always be people. People would always be people. Okay? It is very important. Finally, number 10, we're wrapping up. Thank you, Gina. Trust in God to help you. Okay? Come with an attitude of gratitude and be very, very reliant on God. You can't work this alone. There's so much you can do alone. I love this verse of the Bible, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22, says that the blessing of Jehovah makes one rich and he has no pain with it. Seek that blessing. Okay? Seek that blessing. Everything you are doing, effort or good, they're all good. But let prayer be the icing on the cake for you. Let prayer be the icing on the cake for you. So as we wrap up, let's quickly understand that we must be resolved. Next slide, please. We must be resolved to help people win in our business, despite the challenges we might face doing this. And I want us to take these 3 quotations to heart. An African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together with people. I'm sure all of us want to go far. Then we should be ready to win with people. Lyndon Johnson says that there are no problems we cannot solve together, and very few that we can solve by ourselves. So if you are trying to walk alone, you continue to have multiples of problems unsolved. But when we come together, the Bible says in the multitude of counselors, there is accomplishment. When you bring people together and brainstorm about things, you begin to enjoy the benefits or the skills that each and every one of these people have. Now, Zig Ziglar, our coach of life, says something in a very beautiful way. You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So our resolve today is to go out there and begin to implement all we have discussed. Begin to change what you can. There are certain things that might not be changeable in the immediate. Leave them. Focus on what you have control over, your circle of control. Focus on your circle of influence and begin to make changes. Remember, change will not happen automatically. It will take a time. It's a journey. And I want to wish everybody well on this journey of transformation. I hope you got value from this. And I say thank you for the opportunity to have me speak to you. Thank you to the Mary Management. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Mehan. The slides came from Mehan. She did a wonderful job putting this together for me. I so much appreciate her. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time. I'd like to share a few resources with you much later. You can just drop a 7 to let me know I tried. Thank you so much, everybody.